Hey there, everyone. Thank you for checking out the first episode of the Mundane Adventures of JOECROW. Really excited to be doing this. A little something to keep me going in lockdown and hopefully for a long time after. I've got loads of great guests coming up over the next few weeks, every Wednesday. But for now, let's get straight into it with Dominic Nation from Dominic Nation and the Dirty Dead. Hi, Dominic.
Hi, Joe.
Oh, what's going on, dude?
Not a lot. Just, enjoying quarantine, enjoying. It's all lies. All lies. I'm fed up being locked in.
It's at the point now where it's not even funny anymore, isn't it?
No, it was great for the first probably 2 months. I was kind of enjoying it. I was like, finally, I get to have me time, do my stuff. And then I've hit the third month. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hit the third month, and I went, I kind of miss people, miss my friends.
Yeah. I'm not even. There's nothing in particular I want now. It's just an opportunity to hang out with actual flesh and blood humans.
Yeah. Well,
It's like,
I want really nice food. Okay, no, I want horrible food that costs me a stupid bomb. I want to go drinking. I want to go
yeah.
see my friends. I want to play some music. Yeah, that's kind of all I want to do. Oh, I also want to fuck off out the country for a while, but that's gonna have to wait.
Yeah, that's. I think that's going to be even longer.
I want freedom.
Where would you go?
Sweden. Party Central.
Straight
off.
no.
I know where I'm going. I know who I'm going to see. I know what I'm going to be doing out there, and it's going to be crazy.
Zero hesitation, Sweden. So yeah, I thought we'd do this more on a sort of who the fuck are you sort of level. Where did you come from? What got you started and those sorts of things. So how did you come to be the you that you are right now, so to speak?
Oh shit.
Yeah, deep, bro.
How did I get I've got a small timeline, I guess, from when I was 16, I guess. And that was mostly just getting into music and doing music. Other than that, it's just, I don't know, I stopped being a wanker, I guess.
So I don't know, let's start at the now. I mean, Dominic Nation and the Dirty Dead. What's where did that sort of culmination come from?
So anyone who's started doing bands from 16 or 14 or whenever, and let's go do music, and then you get your little troupe together, and then you all start practicing, and then you're all ready to book your first show, and then it falls to shit. And so that went on for maybe 10 years, and I kind of, well, not even 10 years, it was 8 years, and I kind of went, fuck it, I've had enough. So my original plan was I'm just gonna write and do the shit that I want to do now, because I've been in different types of genres, I've worked with different people, and it just doesn't work. You don't get the places that you want to. And so I always wanted to do horror punk, and I would be oh yeah, I want horror punk, and then I'd be in a pop punk band, and it's I'm not getting the same feel, man. It's not really me. So probably then actually my timeline isn't even set up right, because I said 10 years and I moved it to 8. It's no, so from the age of 16 all the way up to about 20, so there we go, 4 years. I've cut that in half again. Fucking shit with time and dates.
Time is relative in these games.
All right, so there we go. I'm going to go with that one. 16 to 14, joining bands, nothing went anywhere, and then I finally hit fuck it. And so I started what was originally called Dead Set, and I was Dead Set, that's horror, that's the sort of thing I can do. So I just kind of started doing putting together like my inspiration of like Misfits and Wednesday 13, and I was like, oh yeah, this would be great. And then I was doing that for like kind of like a year and a half, and in that time then I kind of found like Dead Set was already taken because it was a series done by I think like Channel 4 where they did like Zombie Outbreak with Big Brother.
Yes, I think I saw that. That was hell. That was 10 years ago, maybe. Jesus.
We're getting old. Yeah, but I hadn't seen that until like that got brought up to me, and I was like, oh, okay, well I guess I can't call it Dead Set now. And so I was like, I'll go with the Dirty Dead then. That sounds brilliant. Yeah, it turns out there's like two bands in England called the Dirty Dead. I think there's one out in America called the Dirty Deads. So I was like, oh, okay, that's not happening. And then I was listening to one of I can't remember which Marilyn Manson album it was at the time, but it was when he was calling himself Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Kids. I was like, love that whole idea thing. I want that. And so I just stuck my name at the front. I went, perfect. I get the Dirty Dead, and yeah, perfect.
You sort of bypass that copyright things. No. We're Dominic Nation in the Dirty Dead.
Yeah.
You guys are the Anther. Go away.
Yeah, so I was doing that for like a year and a half, and then I met Vi. I was just like, so my original idea before I get to Vi's side of the story, and you know, the love of my life, the man of my dreams, and you can edit that out.
This is going out completely uncut.
Bollocks. Yeah, so I was doing that for like a year and a half, and I kind of my original thought was just hiring musicians and just be like, I'm gonna write all this shit, I'm gonna hand it to you, pay you, and we'll do stuff. And for some reason, then I just ended up like forming a band and just like was putting ads out to try and find people. And they're like, yeah, I'll join. So we got like the first iteration together, and amongst that, I got Violet, and it was brilliant because I showed him everything that I'd been working on for like almost 2 years, and he was like, yeah, this is fine, this works. And then we just started writing more and more. Like, you know, we'd sit down there, like, oh, here's a set of lyrics, and then work for 45 minutes and fuck off to the pub, and we've got a song, which is actually a true story. Like, song They Live, we wrote that in 45 minutes, and then we fucked off and got drunk. Yeah, so we started.
That is a cool tune, actually. I like that tune a lot. I think that's probably one of my favorites.
It's just so much fun. I just like the fact that I could condense this almost the story of They Live into 3.5 minutes, or like 4 minutes, however long it is. I'm glad I was able to do that. So we had this like little thing going on for like a couple of years. Then we didn't really do any shows at all. It was just practice constantly for like a couple of years, and then we just eventually we got a show with Mutant Reavers, which was brilliant. It was fucking amazing. I can't actually still like remember everything that happened in that night, but what I do remember is like a giant vodka bottle with like filled with glow sticks, and everyone was just shit faced. It was great. So that was fun. And I think the next show I had after that was great for me because then I got to play for one of my heroes, Argar Goolsby. I was like, I got to open the stage for this man. I did not talk to him. I was absolutely terrified to speak to this man. So this is when we were still doing all of the horror punky style stuff, and it was like, you know, everything's in drop C. Got to sound dirty as fuck, and we're all dressing up like monsters. So that went on for like a couple of years, still doing the same bit. We had like loads of really fun shows and doing lots of stupid shit. And then eventually we kind of hit a point where Vi's like, you should wear a shirt. I was like, okay, fair enough. So I went out and I bought myself like a snakeskin shirt and a leopard print shirt. And I was like, oh, I like this stuff. Because I like glam metal and all that. And we always kind of like had like a little affinity towards it. So like if we originally we had this like little Venn diagram between me and Vi, and it was like Led Zeppelin and Van Halen, like Misfits and Wednesday 13, and then we hit Stormwitch in the middle somewhere, and that was like our little mixture for a while, and then over the last like maybe like 2 years, we kind of got this like print and more extravagance, more crazy, more in your face sort of music, and just be like, yeah, we're fun, pretty girls, love us.
So there's a sort of like an organic development then from straight up horror punk into the more sort of glam metal, power metal sound that you're heading towards at the moment.
Yeah, so we haven't dropped like the whole horror idea of it, because I like writing my silly little stories of people getting murdered and having sex in space, having sex with corpses, murdering corpses in space, having sex with murdered corpses in space. The list goes on, really.
Yeah.
But it just seemed more organic and smooth to do than try and force something, especially from like one side, because Vi's not completely into like the whole horror punk idea. Like he doesn't play that kind of music. But I'm not gonna say I'm not into like everything that he's not into, because I've learned to love these things. I have had my eyes open to a greater world, but it felt right, and it was so much nicer, especially when you hear like a track like Red Wolf, which I think was like the start of going into the glam bit. So we had like all these like nice little power metal elements. We got all this like horror style lyrics going into it, but then the sound itself is just brighter, and then we started gravitating more and more towards like a brighter sound or a brighter tone, and just had a lot more fun with it.
I mean, it's one of those things, where you can sort of aim for one genre, and horror punk especially. It's very, very easy to sound just like someone else, because it has, when boiled down to its base elements, it all starts in the same place. It all starts with your Misfits, and Danzig, and then through to Wednesday 13 and Murder Dolls and things like that. It all sort of boils down to those same core elements. So when I listen to you guys, I can hear those core elements in there. But you guys have, like you said earlier with the Venn diagram, you sort of thrown in this and that from other areas, and it gives you guys your own sound, which I really dig.
I hope we have our own sound from that.
You do. You don't fall into that horror punk trapping. I mean, I could list off 10 bands right now that sound like we heard Murder Dolls and that was it. That's all we needed to know. You guys don't sound like that, but you can hear it's there. You can hear that those bass elements are there as well. So it's really cool that you guys have taken, not boxed yourselves in.
Oh. Thank you.
It's nothing new. I've said this shit to you before.
I know, but it's just nice to hear. I just never know how to take these things. Like we've only just like released our first lot of merch, and I get so excited whenever I just see like a little email going, "This person has bought your thing." I'm like, oh my god, people are buying my shit. What's going on?
I gotta get one of those myself. I'm gonna wear it on stage.
That would be even more. Not only like did I get to have the conversation with you, and then you admit that you're part of my inspiration of why I do music, and then he's gonna wear my stuff. That'd be brilliant.
I don't necessarily know if it goes that far.
Nice to meet you of your idol.
That was quite fun for me in that moment, where it sort of clicked that you were into a band that I used to be in. That was quite a funny moment for me, because I'm thinking about it, and in my head, you guys and us, we've played countless gigs together, but truthfully, we've only actually done one.
Yeah.
Which has to change once this is all over.
Yes. Well, we had like so many plans, and then nothing like kind of like got going. Like we just like we need to sort this stuff out first, and then, yeah, we'll get to that in a minute, and then we'll get to this, and then this happened. I say this and I point out the window. Yeah, fucking COVID happened, and then we don't really do anything. Like all my plans have just been shoved on hold for now. No, Joe, come. Be back. But I do remember that moment out when just before you guys had gone on. It was like, just like, oh yeah, let's be friendly. Let's go on here. And I knew about Vanity Kills like a few years ago when I was just like surfing through YouTube, and I do remember your video for addiction had popped up, but it just did not. The penny did not drop for me at that moment because one, you look completely different.
Yeah. I go through a few different looks a year, so.
So like having that chat there, like I think at least it must look like on my end of like just having a normal chat, seem like quite kind of confident in myself, and go, yeah, I was in that band, and it's just starstruck. Just like holy shit, just turned into Wayne for that, not worthy.
That was the funny thing, because I remember running up to you on the stairs at Bunkhouse and just think, I need to introduce myself to this guy because we're playing together tonight, and that would be quite fun. So I sort of said, hey, you must be the Dom.
Yeah.
And you sort of showed me this.
I don't know how to take that. Sort of, it was like, what?
Like, not quite sure if I was taking the piss. And you sort of shot me this look of, okay, this guy is either thinks he's funny or he's an asshole. Okay.
I'm glad you cleared that up now. Realize you're a funny asshole.
Yes, yeah, that was it. But then sort of stepping outside, and you started talking about I'll Be Damned, and I can't remember how it came up. I might have even brought it up. But you said, oh yeah, I love this album. I was like, oh yeah, I played on that album. And you went, oh. And there was like,
holy shit. I had this yesterday. I was talking to one of my friends, and she does like some interviews for bands, and she just like casually just threw out in a conversation, like, oh yeah, I spoke to Liv Sin from Sister Sin, and so she says this to me, and I like their music, but I've not delved into knowing who the people are. And so I was like, oh, Liv Sin, that sounds kind of familiar. And so do a quick little search, and then Sister Sin pops up, and I'm like, you met this amazing woman on the sub. Did you tell her how fantastic she is?
It's always that way. It was like, I've had similar scenarios with like various people. I think the best one I ever had was with AC Slade.
Oh, I'd love to meet him.
Because I'd met AC a few times, like through supporting him in various bands, on his various bands, and then mine. And we'd always sort of quick chat. Hi, I'm a really big fan. I love this. I love that. That was me. And then he'd be like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, you guys played well tonight. Thank you. And like, but he's like, I said that like he's dismissive. He's really not. He's like the kindest, sweetest guy ever. But there was a point we played when I was in I'll Be Damned, and we were recording The Darker Side of Me. And we opened for AC Slade and the Dark Party. And me and one of the other band members spent the entire night like stealing their beer, like because we wouldn't latch onto AC, we just latch onto one of the other guys, followed them into the dressing room. They'd be like, oh, grab yourself a beer. So we grab ourselves a beer, we drink that beer, we grab ourselves another beer and leave. But we never sort of latched onto AC, and eventually I sort of bumped into him in the hallway between the dressing rooms and thought I should introduce myself because he won't remember who I am, but I want to say hi. So I went up and went to say hi, and he was like, Joe! And I went, huh? It's like, oh, so you're in I'll Be Damned now. I was like, yeah. Hang on, he remembered me. he knows who I am.
Just like little young Joe screaming out like, "Oh my god!"
Oh yeah, my balls had to drop a second time. Yeah, because I've been listening to his music through when he was in Dope, through Murder Dolls, through Trash Light Vision, up to Black Party, Dark Party, and when you sort of click, someone that you really dig knows exactly who you are. It's just you feel a little bit more important in that moment. It's quite cool.
Success. I'm doing something right.
Yeah, acknowledgement. So prior to the Dirty Dead, what got you into the horror stuff? Where did that come from? Did that purely come from the music, or was it the films and everything before that?
So weirdly enough, I've just like finished writing something to do with this sort of moment. When I was quite young, there was a film called Species that came out.
Yeah,
that film. It's fucking awful, absolutely awful. But and so like I hadn't re-seen this film until like a few weeks ago now. So like I'd seen it quite young, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try and like write a set of lyrics now to do with this film and try and like sum it up just to see if like have I still got it in me. I wasn't far off. I really wasn't far off, but young me suppressed a lot of shit. Like so, yeah, I got to see films like Species. My dad's. I used to spend like loads of lazy Sundays with my dad, and he would show me things like V. I think it was one of the earliest times that I'd seen They Live and Halloween, when I was quite young, and I kind of wasn't as into it as I am now. But I think I was just too young to understand what the fuck was going on. I just went, ooh, scary, spooky stuff. So like I grew up listening to like AC/DC and Motley Crue. Specifically with Motley Crue, I literally only had Red, White, and Crue as an album because my older brother had it. So when he buggered off, he ended up leaving it behind. And I just saw this album and went, this looks cool. There's like a naked lady on the front, but you can't see anything. And just started listening to it. And I loved it. I thought it was great. Didn't really get into the AC/DC side of it, but I got into what Motley was, and then I kind of like listened to Skid Row, and then I was getting into what else was I getting into? This is hard now, so much. But yeah, I'll go with that for now. So I got into like the 80s and like early 90s sort of glam metal sort of era, but I wasn't as big into it as I am now, and I kind of was just still finding a spot. So like, as we all know, growing up, you're still trying to find yourself. So I got into, you know, like all the pop punk and stuff like that growing up. But I felt more sort of comfort then when I found like heavier stuff like Sonic Syndicate and Dead by April. But then all of a sudden, I just remember I think I got an issue of Kerrang, and I can't remember what the CD was inside of it, but there was a Murder Dolls track. And this is the key bit now. And I just remember like opening the magazine, and in the feature section, you can just see Joey and Wednesday. And I was like, this is amazing. Look at these guys. This is what I want to do. So like little like 15, 16-year-old me has just found this. And I'm just immediately just running to the internet and ordering their back catalogue, like, because there was only two. It was easy. I had no idea as well that Wednesday actually had a solo career until maybe about like 3 or 4 years afterwards as well. I had no idea about this. I was far too naive and too stupid for this shit. But yeah, so I got into Murder Dolls, and I just loved it. I loved everything that was going on, which then kind of spewed me into finding things like Blitzkid. What else was there? Yeah, Blitzkid, Misfits, Order of the Fly, and then I was getting into like soundtracks of my favorite films like The Crow, and that's where I found things like My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, and it just kind of like starts snowballing from there.
that album was a seminal album. I grew up on film soundtracks, and the Crow soundtrack just introduced me to so many like Pantera I first heard on that. 9 Inch Nails, The Cure, My Life, everything on that record just sort of informed who I would become. It was film soundtracks were the best thing ever.
The Cure, like I didn't really like fall into liking The Cure and that kind of area until I was maybe like 18 or something as well.
Yeah.
So like my music taste has kind of like jumped quite a lot from being like, I don't know, into like metalcore, then into like pop punk and stuff. Well, and then it's kind of like jumped through sort of genres until I had found the things that I really, really liked. I think it was like when I was 18 was the period where I then discovered probably the most important band in my life, which was Wasp. So I've gone from like Wednesday 13, Murder Dolls, Misfits, all this horror punk. Then all of a sudden I just get introduced to snuff metal, and then Wasp just took over then for like a few years. So I bought my first bass, and I kind of like solidified myself going, this man is amazing. I need to do, and there was part of an influence as well of going like, I'd like to be the next Blackie or the next Nikki Sixx. No, not even close. Not even close to these guys at all. When I don't play bass as often as I should.
Well, that was the cool thing, because Wasp was a band that I sort of missed out on in a big way. I was a huge fan of Crew and various other sort of bands in that wheelhouse, but Wasp sort of passed me by. And it was only since I played that show with you guys that I've started listening to Wasp.
Did we do Animal that as well? I can't remember.
The first time I heard that song, and for anyone listening to this context-wise, I actually filled in on bass for one show with Dom and the guys, and I had to learn all their songs in a 24-hour period.
I really never heard to like, I don't know, praise you even more for that. That was absolutely nuts. Just like, oh crap, we're a little bit screwed. We haven't got bases for the show. Joe, do you want to jump in on this? My absolute favorite bit of that whole night.
The worst part of the whole thing was it was actually my bass player that threw me under the bus for that. Because I think Vi had gone to my bass player John and said, dude, we need help, can you do this? And he was like, I can't make it, I've got my kid or something, ask Joe. He does all the bass on the record, so you just go ask Joe. And I have I have what a few people have termed as hero complex. My dad has it too. And it's one of those things where someone needs you to do something that is so out there and fucking ridiculous, but you just go, yep, I'll do it, without even thinking. So that was so much fun. But I'd never heard Animal before, so
that was my little gateway with to getting into Wasp, was hearing Animal, then followed by Babylon as well. And that was like, that just like solidified me. I got like early Wasp, and then I got like newer Wasp, and I just got hooked on everything. There's nothing bad in that. My favorite bit about that night when you filled in was just the fact that it was like, we need to do all this hard work. We need to get this going. There was one guy in the whole audience.
It was this thing. We're doing this headline show, and
we were getting bumped up as the days were going. We were supposed to be like one of the openers, and it was like, okay, this band has dropped out, so we moved up a slot. And it's like, oh, this band's dropping up now, so we moved a slot. Oh, this band's going to fill in, but are you all right to still do the slot we've given you? Do you want a headline instead? I was like, oh shit, what the fuck is going on here? Turned out then, not to sound ill, we kind of like got a bit screwed over because there was a lot going on in the city that day, and it was just wasn't going to happen. But it was absolutely brilliant. Should just told that guy to like grab a chair, sit down in front of the stage, and then we all just jump off at him.
we did. We sort of, this is for you, but only because you're the only one here.
you made the effort. Like, you came to see us, and I don't know what we're doing anymore now. But hey, we're still gonna have a laugh and still piss about. Why not? Oh,
It was
so
one
good.
of those nights that you just
Just pull it out your ass.
yeah, it was hilariously fun because I'd been rehearsing with Vi all day, and it was like shit. I've never even played these with the band, you know.
I don't know what the thought process between that was. Just follow me. Just follow me. It's like, don't follow him. Like, this is not gonna go well. But it did. Like, it
was fun.
it went down great.
Yeah, and I'll do it again. And I'll do a better job next time. I'll have more notice, hopefully.
Hopefully. Who knows?
Hopefully, you won't need me to.
Can't promise anything. We honestly cannot promise anything with being better at letting people know what the hell is going on. It's all
Well, hopefully, if all goes well with you guys, you won't need me again. So
hopefully. No, we'll get you on for something. I don't know. Well, I'll make something up. I'll give you a pop for something. Who knows?
we'll just have one of those things where one of us will pull the other one up on stage to do some shouting. I think we could probably pull that off.
I'm not opposed to that. Like, I listen to your music enough.
Yeah.
I listen to your music enough. I've got that, like Spotify does the like what you've got on repeat. It's just like I've got like things like King Cobra and all that going down. I think it's like as soon as I hit about 8 slot, it's just like it's taken up by your EP.
We can add another 11 tracks onto that
No, I think one of my mates before did ask about like why do I listen to Vanity Kills so much, and I was like, mostly doing it. One, it's good music and I do enjoy it. Second, I never know what Joe is going to do, and if he does anything and pulling me up, I am not going up there and not knowing shit.
Well, you've just given me carte blanche there. Any show you turn up to or you're playing with us, and something like you know what to do.
I'm not going to talk about that memory that's just come into my head. Not yet, anyway. Anyway, next time. What are we doing?
It'll be one of those things. I'll pull you up for a completely random song that's not even out yet, like Heresy or something like that, just to fuck with you a little bit.
Have you even written words for that?
Yeah, it's on. Oh, you've only heard the instrumental, haven't you? Yeah.
So it is a. I occasionally just like get random messages from Joe of like, dude, listen to this, and yeah, great. It's great having being friends with music friends. That wasn't even a sentence. Fuck.
Well, I use you as one of my sounding boards.
Is it because you just like the fact that you can hear it down the microphone? Oh my god, this is amazing.
No, because it's the one of the best things that comes out of you is that you're really easy to read. Like, you can sit there in absolute silence, and I'm like, this is either clicking or he's bored, and I can easily figure out one or the other.
Oh, bollocks. Fuck. It was me thinking I was a complex character. It just turns out I'm alright. Oh, I can take that.
You compliment. Word.
Mm-hmm.
This is a podcast because I'm good at the talk thing.
Yeah. What are the strange words?
Squiluncle.
I got nothing clever for that. I thought I had something. I didn't. But no, it wasn't quite.
It's all right. I think the bit's falling dead on his face anyway. It's fine.
Fantastic. I love it. Let's go with that. Because when I'm not funny, you're just an asshole. But you put us together, we're a not funny asshole. And I can accept that.
But there's a reason this podcast has the title it has. So
Just ramble like fuck. We should just got wankered for this. It would have been brilliant. We probably would have said a lot of things we shouldn't have, but it might also just be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. We've done that. We did that live where there was no option of editing things several
I
times.
don't even understand like what like hit the end of that. Like I understand getting kicked because of like what was the bloody series we were watching? It was Rock of Love. That was it. I can
Yeah.
understand like that getting taken down. I don't understand why the pair of us both just went, let's just play music, you'll be fine.
Because we were past the point of sense. It's like, yeah, we'll watch a show and keep getting taken down from Facebook Live for copyright. Okay, this isn't working. Let's use various other copyright materials and see if they can keep up.
They didn't catch Bullet Boys, which I thought was quite great. We managed to get the whole of Bullet Boys, and then we got into like I think we got into a track you wanted. It was either like Nine Inch Nails or
Probably not.
I can't remember all this. I remember Bullet Boys just because it didn't get taken down. That was mostly it. I just remember like seeing a bit of Nine Inch Nails. I can't remember anything else that we played that night.
I think we were sort of halfway through Wish by Nine Inch Nails, and then it ended. And I can't remember what happened from that point onwards. But the next thing I can remember doing is waking up, running over to my computer to see if I was still streaming. Like, I don't know how much time had passed. It was still dark out. But I ran over to my computer, I checked if I was still streaming. I was like, no. Dom? Okay. I think I went for a walk. Like, I think I threw on some trainers and I was in my pajamas and I went for a
I
walk.
remember getting a message from you, just like, "Oh, how did you do last night?" You just went, "Oh, I just went walking," but like it sounded like quite ominous. How like this walk in general. I can't remember exactly what you had said, but it just sounded like you were really up to something.
It was weird. I was wandering around my village in my pajamas with a pair of trainers on, sort of completely unaware of where I was, but knowing that if I didn't walk, I was at that point of drunk where I was going to puke.
It does remind me. I should actually give a warning to like other people who don't know you, and then we'll get to know you. If Joe ever invites you over to just like chill out or like write some music, these are not like these are not euphemisms for anything. Specifically, that is what is going to happen. Don't plan on going home that night because you're going to be in Bridgends. You're going to end up in hobos. You're going to be absolutely wankers. No, you go for a pint, and then that 1 pint turns into 2 pints, and then you get a cab to Bridgends.
This was a business meeting that we had. It wasn't even
It was
supposed
great.
to. It wasn't
went
supposed
on
to
for
be a
2 hours.
social visit.
It all started with that one drink. It was that one drink. It's like, should we like loosen up a little bit? And it's like, yeah, all right, I'll have one. I've got to drive anyway, so I'll have a few hours afterwards, and it'll be okay. And it's like, let's try and do some music. Okay. And then you bring the lambs out, and it's like, okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's got the good stuff. I'm sold.
The lamb.
I've got mine downstairs. I was so happy when I found it.
This actually is the bottle from that night. What's in here isn't rum.
Okay, thank God. I was gonna be like, I thought we finished that.
Oh no, we did. This is the bottle from that night, and it's now full. I was doing a clear out of some stuff, and I broke what used to be a lamp, like a lava lamp thing.
Okay.
I had this broken thing, and I needed to pour it into something to save it from going everywhere. So I poured it into the bottle, and then I added some Coke to it, and it's sort of just sat here now.
It looks like a trap now. It just looks like a trap.
It kind of is. Yeah, it's a little bit of a trap. So if you do come over again, don't drink the lamp.
I'm not going near that bottle.
Yeah. I'll buy Sailor Jerry so you know you'll never make that mistake.
Oh, that's a really nice one as well. That's really nice.
Either that or some crack.
I just want Kraken was good. I don't. Oh god, I remember having some on my bloody birthday last year. I think I started on Rays was the first thing I had, and then I just don't remember anything else past the first crack. And stuff was going on. I just don't remember anything. I just remember like waking up in my bed the next day, like, oh.
It was that night though. Like for context, the guys, Dom and Vi came around. We were going to talk about doing a tour together. So we did that for about 2 hours, and me being the
generous
best host in the world, yeah. Okay, that's slightly less ego masturbation. Let's offer these guys a beer. So I had a couple of beers lying around, so we grabbed some beers. Cool. Let's I've got an idea. Let's go and record a song. So we started recording Party All the Time by Eddie Murphy, which we to this day still haven't finished. And it was like, let's have a few more drinks. You guys can crash here. It'll all be fine. So we had a few more drinks and we finished off the rum and we were pretty drunk and we thought, it's a bit early to stop drinking. Let's go to the local pub here in my village, which is about 7 miles outside of Bridgend. I'm not going to say where it is specifically. So we were having drinks there, and all of a sudden we realized, I want to dance. I want to hang out. I want to do something fun. Let's go to Bridgend and go to Hobos. I don't go to Hobos that often. And usually when I do, I arrive in the state we arrived in that night. The problem was, we went on to 3 a.m.
I remember being in a trolley with chicken nuggets, happy as Larry, and a girl screaming at me because this. So I remember just seeing this girl in a lime green dress, and that was it. And she was just shivering. And she went, "You need a cardigan." I just got told to go fuck myself. It's like, I'm glad I got chicken nuggets, mate.
I'm done. Chicken nuggets. But I remember waking up in the morning and you guys had passed out on the floor in my room. And I sort of wake up, I look over and I'm like, I didn't dream that. Fuck.
Oh, that was such a good night.
It was. Needs to happen again.
I want to do it again. I want to do it again. I want to get drunk with my friends. I want to go and party all the time.
It's good fun. I'd say this has been a relatively successful podcast.
Yes. I don't know what we were talking about.
No, I think we've lost it. I'm going to
who are you? What are you into? Oh, I'm into this. Oh, cool. Remember that time we got wankered? Yeah!
That's how it's always going to be. You have to get Vi on this as well. That would be quite fun.
Oh, that'll be brilliant. Your life would be incredibly philosophical. Or you'll just get a recap of what we've spoken about, but you'll get his side of the story.
Yeah, I feel like his side of the story might make more sense.
Maybe they really want that. It's that good content.
No. But I'm going to call it on the podcast. But before I do, what's going on? What's next for Dominic Nation and the Dirty Dead?
Well, with current plans, they haven't been thrown out the window, they've just been delayed. We are planning to release a couple of singles this year to tease you little sods, but I can't tell you which ones. The main thing that we got going is we finally have merch. We finally got t-shirts in. It's so long. I have no idea when this podcast is going out, though. So it could be when it comes out. The pre-orders have stopped. So I will say probably by the mid of August, end of August, we will have t-shirts back up on the online shop for their shop prices. But, best way to get all of the merchandise and things is come and see us. Come and see the silly shit that we do. But yeah, we have plans. We have big plans. It's just I can't say a lot of what they are at the moment because everything kind of been all the water has been fucked up with, like, my plan was basically, like, within the next couple of weeks I've gone into start doing some serious work, but we can't. So I can't, I'm not going to promise anything besides potentially 2 singles this year. That's the main thing that I can say.
I'm going to second the go see Dominic Nation and the Dirty Dead live.
I look way better the way
music,
looking now.
The music is fantastic, but the music and the show is just something else. So go check them out when we're allowed to.
Yeah, when we're allowed to. Apparently, singers are dangerous at the moment. That's why they're not letting us. We're the dangerous people. Me and you.
Yeah. That was a thing, and I'm going to continue this for just a minute. A little aside. What is going to be the deal going back into gigs now with like venue-owned mics?
I just don't think that's going to be allowed to happen like that. Like, me and you are a little bit lucky because we take our own equipment, but I can't speak for anybody else. The other side as well. This is I'm not going to mention names in this bit, but like having a conversation with some friends, and it was like basically just hide the singer away, or like like, I don't know, because I've got a wireless mic. I don't care. You could stick me in a cupboard and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because I can be But there's like some places like Germany and that are kind of doing it right. They've got like drive-in concerts that like take over an old like movie theater, like the drive-in ones, and do a show.
Yeah.
But I don't know what we can do around here. No.
Yeah. It's probably going to be a situation where you have to show up with your own mics from now on.
It's I don't even that as well. It's because like as you're singing, you're spitting lots, and that's one way for it to spread. And it's also all the touching. There's all those fantastic bits. I can't be that fucking face mask talking like this and singing.
Although suddenly cupping the mic doesn't seem like the worst technique ever.
Monster! Why would you say that?
Hey, you know me, I do not cup the mic, so just saying.
Yeah, we'll leave it on that front. Otherwise, I'm just going to go on a rant about cupping mics. So I'm not going to do that.
We'll save that for another episode. Dom, thank you loads for coming and doing this with me.
That was great. So, it's nice. It's nice to be the first for something for you and for me. I'll treasure this always. Something magical.
Always. All right, for those watching, thank you for checking this out, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.